The end of a year or the beginning of a new one is the time to summarize for yourself what happened and what you have learned. But there are years when things happen that you need professional help to process, and following the standard formats causes you distress or even panic, instead of giving you closure and a section in your bullet journal that you like to flip back to. I'm in this situation, and don't worry, I'm getting the help I need. But in the meantime, by trial and error and a series of panic attacks, I came up with a scheme that can be both helpful and reassuring to look at, without it being toxic or dishonest. If you are in a similar situation and had to find a different way to process 2022, I'm really interested, so please comment your ideas and solutions down below. This 12-page section consists of two essentially different parts. The first one is picture heavy. I compiled and printed out a bunch of tiny images, then cut them out. This section starts with 4 pages, one spread and a Dutch door of blissful moments. It's a substitute for the 12 months, 12 pictures type year at a glance pad. What is a blissful moment in this case? I chose photos that I took in moments when I felt at peace, even if it happened in the middle of something hectic or stressful. For example, in late March, shortly before the election, my union scheduled a public forum on a day that was unfortunately preceded by a series of protests and other campaign events. I was running late because my mum and I watched the Johnny Cash episode of Columbo and it was longer than we remembered. But I was still the first to arrive at Goya, a very popular pub, and I was all alone in that huge open space during golden hour. I was drinking a lavender soda and waiting for the others. Eventually only 5 of us showed up for the forum, so we just had a drink and a chat instead. It was an unexpectedly wholesome and cozy afternoon. After this collection of blissful moments comes another positive spread, but that one is very personal. The second half of the 12-page section is text heavy. I'm using Dutch doors for this one too, because it's something I haven't tried yet, but it's a good way to keep a thematic section compact and I want to indulge. I used very basic concepts and a few prompts from the Year Compass booklet. I want to keep it 100% positive, and I think it's possible without any toxic positivity and with tacitly acknowledging hardships and mistakes. The first 2 pages are for accomplishments. Professional ones on the left, non-professional ones on the right. If you are a grad student or an early career researcher, it can be very useful to see the two spheres separated. For me, it will help to recognize that I actually achieved a lot in 2022, despite thinking I was lazy and completely useless all along, and that I'm also somebody outside of academia. On the 3rd page, I will list things I tried or experienced for the first time, and on the 4th, wise decisions. This is actually the first prompt of the 6 sentences about my past year section of the Year Compass booklet that I decided to expand because I always tend to focus on the things that I regret, and in my current state it's in fact the only thing I can think about. Maybe this page will remind me that I can be pretty smart, kind and professional too, and the rest I'm going to deal with in therapy. The second to last page is for another 6 prompts from the Year Compass. The biggest thing I completed and one thing I wasn't able to accomplish directly next to each other because these are my PhD studies and the dissertation and I think it's hilarious. Then the most important thing I did for others, the best thing I have discovered about myself, the biggest surprise of the year, and the past year in 3 words. I decided to avoid prompts that involve, for example, gratitude because at the moment I only feel shame and guilt about receiving anything from others, including emotional support and letters of recommendation. I will use the last page to draw something like by 2022. Maybe in a few weeks or months I'll be able to tackle the rest and assess 2022 in a healthy way. In any case, I don't have to tear out any pages from my journal. Everything's alright, like Neptune. If you are in a similar situation where you needed to change the way you summarize the year in your journal, please leave a comment. I'm probably late to the party with this video, but if you haven't done it yet, I hope I could give you some ideas. See you next time. Bye!